Aligning objects is one of the most important things when we're talking about modular design. It's so important that things line up nice and evenly, and it's so nice when you know that you could equally space objects apart, whether it's text, if we're talking about really any frame that you have on here. You can do text frames, you can do images, you can do all different types of things. So let's say I want to resize my C-slug, so I'm going to hit Control-Shift, and I'd like it to be a little bit smaller, because I'm going to put some other stuff with it. So I have my C-slug here, and I think I'm going to create maybe a sidebar graphic using the C-slug. So I'm going to create my rectangle behind it, rectangle tool. I'm going to create just a nice rectangle. I'm going to fill it with a gray. So I'm going to do black, and I'm going to tint it to 10%. And I'm going to send that object to the back. Object, arrange, send to back. So I have my C-slug here hanging out. And I want to have a couple lines of text, and we're going to do just a circle ellipse. Hold down Shift to get that perfect circle, and I'm going to go ahead and put a stroke around that. Let's do a green stroke around that circle. And it's text wrapped right now. Look at that, how fancy. There we go. Green stroke, and then I would like to add some text here. Oh. And oh, we've got text wraps on like everything, so hold on. So you see how my text didn't work that way? That was because I had a text wrap on my gray box. It was automatically putting a text wrap on there, which sometimes happens. C-slug fun facts. Change our text. C-slug fun facts. We'll even make that a 30 because they're so much fun, we want them to be big. There we go. C-slug fun facts. Okay. Now, I want all three of these items, my circle, my C-slug fun facts headline, and my C-slug, to be centered and to line up together. And then I'm going to want to evenly space them. Okay, so how I am going to do that, there we go. That pink just meant that this particular font does not have whatever character I accidentally typed in there. So I'm going to select all three of these by holding down Shift and clicking them. Then I'm going to use my Align panel. Window, Object and Layout, Align. And you can see that there are a bunch of different options here. This is one that I do suggest docking on your panels here. And there's a bunch of different options. So the first one, with these all selected, and this is going to be the one that you're going to use the most. You want to say Align to Selection, because that's selected. You can have them all line up on the left. You can center them all. You can line them all up on the right. I want them centered. So I'm going to have everything like that centered. And then you can decide if you would like to distribute the spacing evenly between all of them. And this is going to be, it's going to distribute the spacing between the actual frame box that you have. So you can see the frame around there, the frame around there, the frame around here. It's going to distribute all of these evenly based on the frame that is selected. So you want to make sure that you have all three of them selected again. And I'm going to say that I want them to have 2 picas of space between, and I'm going to hit this right here, vertical space. And now you can see, I know that there's 2 picas here, there's 2 picas here, and it's all aligned and beautiful. And you can distribute the space vertically. That just looks silly, Control Z, but I made sure that it's horizontally, everything is distributed correctly. Now, another option, if you would like to align something to a key object, to a margin, to the page, to the spread. So if I wanted all of this to be, I'm just going to show you for the sake of this example, everything aligned to the center of my spread, I can do that. I can align it all to the far right of my spread, to the far left of my spread, center it again. Okay. You can align things to the page. So maybe I want to center it in my page instead. So it's going to go over to my left-hand page here. I don't want that because, again, that looks silly. We're covering things up. I want it aligned perfectly here. So you can see now that everything is aligned center. And to align it with my gray box, if you shift and select the gray box also, align to selection, center it, everything will move right into place with your gray box. So that's just a really, really helpful tool to have in order to align objects together. One thing I'm going to add to this one, let's say I want 2 circles. Let's say I want 2 circles. I'm going to delete that circle. I'm going to create another one, rectangle tool, ellipse, and I'm going to start my circle. If you hold down Shift, you know you're getting a perfect circle. And then I'm going to use my up arrow, for 2 circles. And let's say I want 2 vertically also, or those are my 2 vertical circles. I'm going to use my right arrow to create circles horizontally also. So you can do as many circles as you want, and then left arrow to delete, down arrow to go back. And I have my 4 circles here now. I'm going to use my selection tool, move them over into my slug fun facts, put my green stroke on it. Now I have a place for my fun facts to go. So that's exciting. So that's just a fun little tip when you're using either, and you can do that with any of these frames, type tool, rectangle frame, or ellipse or regular rectangle, any of these. You can use the up and down arrows to create multiple vertical, and it'll space it a pica automatically, and the right and left arrows to create multiple circles or squares right or left, also horizontally. So it's a fun fact.